Okay, everyone. Today we're going to look at the Draeger ventilator. And I'm going to get a little bit closer. So the Draeger here is there's two connections in the front. And one of them inspiratory. It says inspiratory up there. That's to the patient. This is where we will connect the bacteria filter right here. This one here is expiratory, in other words, coming exhalation back to the ventilator. And behind here, this is the exhaust. This is where it'll kind of empty out. But there, behind here, there is, let me open it up, there is a flow sensor. This here is a flow sensor, actually can be removed. It's a flow sensor. Okay. I'm going to put it back in. Oops. Okay, so this measures, it's measuring exhalation after the breath is been delivered by the ventilator. It's going to come back to the ventilator and it will be exhausted here, and the flow sensor will measure that volume. Okay, so just to show you what that is. This one does have a water collection, because once exhalation comes back to the ventilator, there is a water trap in there, so it will actually collect some moisture, and that needs to be checked every so often, and you'd have to take it off, but I'm not going to do that right now. So anyhow, I'm going to go ahead and set up this Draeger. I'm going to put the circuit that I have over here, and we will connect it. Okay, and I'll be right back. Okay, so I am back with the Draeger, and let's take a look. On the back here we have our pneumatic source, and I'm going to kind of strap down a little bit. Get it off here somehow. Yeah. Who did this anyway? Probably was me. Okay. Pneumatic source here, gas and oxygen and air, and we do have our power supply here. Try to keep it kind of what do you call that? Just not get it all tangled up. Spaghetti. Let me connect it down here. Red outlet, remember. Gas source up here. Oxygen and air. Okay, I'm back. So on the side here on this, the Draeger, there's a panel right here. And I'm going to bring my camera over so you can kind of see. There is a power switch right here. This is the power switch. You turn it on. This one will make a beeping noise for about 30 seconds while it is booting up. And you can see the screen booting up. And then we're going to connect the circuit here. We could have connected the circuit and then turned it on, but it's not going to go in ventilation mode anyhow. There we go. While it's doing that, I'm going to turn this sideways so we can see how I connect everything. Okay. And let's zoom out a little bit. Okay. So I'm going to get the circuit while its system is starting up. Got my circuit here. This one does have an arm that we can actually use for the circuit to hold it, which we'll do that. Probably a good idea to do that prior to connecting everything. That way nothing's going to drop on the ground. Okay, So let's untangle this mess here. So I have my, let's move that out of the way. So I have my filter here, it's bacteria filter, and I was telling you this is inspiratory side. This is going to connect here. This is again the side where we could put a temperature probe right here. This is inspiratory, and I'm going to connect it on the bottom. And it does swivel, so don't worry about that. Okay, and this is exhalation port, will go right here. So that's pretty much hooking up the circuit on the Draeger. It's pretty simple. You don't want to connect the test lung yet until we're actually set the parameters on the ventilator. And so let's look at the screen real quick so you can get familiarized with what the screen kind of looks like. Okay, so let's see. So if you look at the screen, it looks kind of all messed up everywhere. Like, what am I looking at? I don't know, but they do have a place here. This one says new patient, new adult, or new peds. Of course, we're only going to be doing adults in here. There is a start ventilation. If you press start ventilation, it'll start ventilating. You don't want to do that yet. We're gonna be setting parameters up that you're gonna have for day 2 and day 3, and to be able to go through all these ventilators. But down here it says ventilator settings. So I'm going to tap that, and right now it takes you into ventilator settings, and we have a lot of options up on top here. We have volume control, assist control, pressure control, assist control. We'll go through all of that. There's some advanced modes, APRV, and we're not going to do that in this course. We're really going to just focus on volume control, pressure control. We will be talking about APRV and PRVC. Those are advanced modes. There are some facilities that actually use PRVC. It's kind of like an autopilot kind of mode. But anyhow, standard modes, the most common ones are volume control and pressure control. And so with we're going to click volume control there. With this one here, you always have to, after you press something, you have to press this button down here to accept that. So here we can see the different parameters. These are the things, some of the things here are what the doctor would order. He would order FiO2, he would order tidal volume, he would order, they won't order I time. This is, we will be talking about I time and total cycle time and all that. And they will order respiratory rate, and they will order a PEEP. Okay, a slope. This is slope is it's kind of, if you think of a slope on a hill, the steeper it is, it indicates how quickly it's going to rise to the top. But if you have a really low slope, very slow slope, right now it's 0.2 seconds. If you have it like 1 second, that's a long, so you can see that it's more of the slope is like this. The air is going to get there slower to the flow is going to get into the lungs longer, take a little longer, as opposed to a very quick slope. Okay, we'll talk about that later. But anyhow, so those are some settings there. This one here, you have alarm settings. You will always set your alarms according to what we have right here. These are the standard alarms, and we'll talk about alarms whenever you set them up, and parameters you have to set alarms. Okay, and then here's your different alarm settings. You have minute ventilation on this one. You have mandatory volume, delay, seconds, peak airway pressure, centimeters of water pressure, respiratory rate. You have tidal volume. This one has end-tidal CO2, which we do not connect that. It is on here. There is a little connector actually down there. This device here actually can clip to the ventilator circuit if you have the adapter to measure end-tidal CO2. We don't do that here. Okay, so this is how you're gonna kind of get used to the screen. You look at it to see where your alarms. When you're done with using something, this one here is a little bit touchy. I think you have to, yeah, you can touch the X to close it, and it'll take you back to the standby. It's in standby right now. Okay. You can, once you're actually started, if you start ventilation, we'll have to connect that test lung there to the end of the circuit down here, so it could start ventilating. So anyhow, that will be in lab 2 and 3. Okay.